Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome back to some more Manchester United transfer news because it is official. Manchester United are officially in hot pursuit of Real Madrid midfielder Casemiro.
Oh shit, here we go again.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is some more Manchester United transfer news that you love to hear. Casemiro is without a doubt one of the best defensive midfielders in the entire world, and he has been for quite some time. The big question though is, would he fit this Manchester United system? And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you do enjoy this type of content and you're not subscribed already, make sure that you are subscribed along with hitting the like button down below so that I know to do more content like this in the future. Obviously, I recently uploaded a video like this about Christian Pulisic, and of course if we're able to get an attacker like Christian Pulisic and a midfielder like Casemiro, Manchester United finally might be taking steps in the right direction. Of course, looking at Casemiro, the talks are that if he does join Manchester United, it would be for a fee for around £67 million, which once again, I'm not sure whether that's too high of a fee for a player like Casemiro. Don't get me wrong, one of the best defensive midfielders from around the world over the last few years, but 30 years old, £67 million is a lot of money. But saying that in the modern era of football, if you get him for 3 to 4 years and he's a solid player over those next few years, it could be totally worth it. As we know, 33, 34 isn't old for a player nowadays. If you look at Casemiro's current midfield partner, Luka Modric at Real Madrid, once again, what was he, 31 or like 33 when he won the Ballon d'Or? Of course, 35 years old currently, and he still bosses football in the midfield for the Champions League. Once again, Casemiro could be a very, very solid for Manchester United, but it all depends whether he fits the system or not. As I said, once again, it's only the fee that kind of worries me, considering we were in talks to get someone like Frankie de Jong for up to 80 to 90 million pounds. So would you say a player who's 5 years older is worth just 13 million pounds less?
Beggars cannot be choosers, my lord.
Once again, I think that goes down to you guys to put down in the comment section down below your opinions on the matter. For me personally, I believe Casemiro would be the perfect fit for Manchester United because we really do need that proper bossy, really balanced midfielder. Look, obviously we've been stuck with the Mick-Fred situation for quite some time now, and we really do need to make some changes. Unfortunately, Scott McTominay hasn't quite risen to the occasion as I thought he would over the last few years. Obviously 2 years ago, I thought he was a brilliant player and really high potential, but unfortunately I do believe that we do need a tiny bit more depth, and even if that means just bringing in a first choice option straight away, I believe that's exactly what we need. I mean, if you look at a player like Casemiro, I mean, he can do it absolutely all. He can do defensive work, he can do attacking work. I mean, for a defensive midfielder, he's gotten what, 24 goals and 221 appearances for Real Madrid. A goal in every 10 games for a defensive midfielder is an absolutely terrific stat. Obviously he's a very aggressive player, very physical player, and is perfectly suited for Premier League football. I mean, he's been compared to the likes of Makelele, and I mean, he wasn't too bad in the Premier League. So of course, looking at Casemiro, I believe he would fit perfectly into this United system. I mean, just looking at the way Manchester United set up, obviously, as I mentioned in my previous video, they kind of stick to a 4-2-3-1 kind of formation. So of course, whether those two midfielders play in the holding midfield positions or just kind of in the central midfield, once again, I believe if you have Casemiro, who I've made the screen player here, and of course, if you put him next to a Brazilian midfielder like Fred, who's had massive improvements over the last year. I would say that Fred has been the biggest improvement in the squad over the last year or two, but because of how bad everyone else is playing, it kind of undermines how brilliant he's been. Of course, these two players play together on a national level for the Brazilian national team. They've won a Copa America together in 2019. So of course, I do feel like that is the midfield that has to stick together. Of course, having a very solid, very reliable defensively midfielder like Casemiro, I believe will open so many options for Manchester United in terms of both attacking and defensive abilities. I've spoken about in the past, like having a player like Christian Pulisic and his attacking confidence, how they'll open up the whole left side or the whole right side of the Manchester United team. And I think same goes for Casemiro. Obviously him being defensively good, for example, will allow for more attacking options from the fullbacks at Manchester United, knowing that if they're able to make their way up the pitch, a player like Casemiro can fill in those responsible duties in those defensive areas. Obviously looking at him, whether he plays in that kind of system or whether Manchester United want to have one holding midfielder and two kind of attacking midfielders, obviously they can go for a Bruno Fernandes and an Eriksen, and obviously once again they'll only improve the attacking areas for Manchester United, knowing that they've got a defensive wall in the back like Casemiro. Once again, looking at Casemiro, he's one of those midfielders that's been described by some of the best managers in football for his balance to be one of the best in the world. I mean, it's only Diego Simeone, the Atletico Madrid Madrid manager, who described Casemiro as, for balance of the team, he is Real Madrid's most important player. And to get a compliment like that in one of the strongest Real Madrid teams ever is absolutely huge. As we know, he's part of easily one of the best trios in modern day football with Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, and to be told that he's the best balance or the most important player in a team like that, it's absolutely massive. As I said, 5 Champions Leagues. I mean, I could just state that as a fact to why Manchester United should get him. As I said, it's only really the fee that worries me, whether £67 million is worth it for a few years. Also, it's set to say that he would have to earn up to £360,000 a week, which once again, whether that's worth it for a 30-year-old, once again, Premier League's a very, very weird place. I do believe he's one of those players that is physical enough, therefore could be perfectly suited for it. Obviously, he's one of those players that can win the ball in possession and is very, very good at starting counter-attacks. He's not necessarily the most technically gifted or the most skillful of players like most other Brazilians, but of course, if he can win the ball in midfield and really kind of start the counter-attacks, which is perfectly suited for Manchester United football. As we know, over the last few years, they've really adapted to the counter-attacking style of football. But of course, all they need is that midfielder right there centrally to win the ball in order for them to start that counter-attack. He's obviously also a brilliant player of the ball, so if he's able to ping a ball across to either of the winger sides, as I said, it would be great if we got Christian Pulisic. But even if it's just the likes of Elanga, Marcus Rashford or Jadon Sancho, once again, I think that Casemiro could have a very kind of similar impact on this team to someone like Bruno Fernandes. Now, I don't mean that necessarily in terms of goals, but I mean in terms of he's an experienced player that would really lift the confidence of the entire team. Of course, I think once again, defensively, players would feel a lot more covered, especially your Harry Maguires and players like that. And obviously in terms of attack, knowing that they've got a defensive player like that, once again, it relieves a lot of pressure. And once again, I mean, just in terms of communication, to have Fred, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes who all speak the same language in the midfield, once again, that could be a really smart tactical thing for Manchester United to do. As I said, I definitely think getting a player like Casemiro, it could be a step in the right direction. Obviously, it would be kind of as the Frankie de Jong replacement, as he's clearly shown disinterest in the club and is not becoming a Red Devil anytime soon. I truly do believe that Casemiro joining this team would be a step in the right direction. As I said, 30 years old, but in modern football, as we know, I mean, we got Zlatan Ibrahimovic when he was, 33, 34 years old, and he's still playing top football today. Once again, footballers nowadays are playing to a top level at much older ages, and it's not really a factor that does bother me, it's just the £67 million price tag. But ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for today's video. As I said, let me know your opinions down in the comment section down below. Once again, this is kind of a transfer that I'm seesawing in terms of whether I really like it or whether I don't. I mean, I don't think Real Madrid would fight too hard to hold on to a player like him. I mean, obviously, he's been a brilliant part of their midfield for up to 9 years now, joining the squad in 2013. But currently in the options, they've still got Luka Modric, they've still got Toni Kroos. Along with that, they've got Camavinga, they've got Valverde, they've got Tchouaméni. Once again, they've got some brilliant midfield options. And I don't think they would hold on too much. I mean, for me personally, as I said, in terms of a transfer kind of fee, I feel like he's worth maybe closer to £40 million. But that just might be my own personal opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. As I said, like and subscribe. If you did end up enjoying it, make sure to check out the Christian Pulisic video if you haven't already. But guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Can't speak for some reason. Double N. Until next time, cheers.